Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to do is use a primer for my eyeshadow. I do have a piece of tape right here along my eye. That way I can keep a pretty straight, crisp line. And this is the Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer that came with one of my palettes. So I'm using the MAC SELECT Cover Up. This is in NW15. I'm going to grab a shade from the Morphe 35F palette, which I believe this is the new fall palette. The shade that I will be using right now is going to be the lightest shade that's matte in this palette, which will be right here. So I'm going to grab that guy and put it all over my entire eyelid. This is going to help basically make everything a little bit more blendable. It's going to help keep everything a little bit warm. Next, I'm going to go ahead and grab another shade from this palette using that same brush. The shade I'm going to use this time is kind of a warm nude shade, and it is this shade right here. And this is going to go basically on the outer edge of my eye, and I'm going to apply that to the inner part of my eyelid and the outer part of my eyelid. And I will be connecting them as well. So I will give you guys an example here. This is a really nice, like, warm brick brown. And I'm just connecting the inner corner of my lid right along the crease to the outer corner here. And we're gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna take a very beautiful, like, foil, I don't know, it's like a burgundy red. Oh my gosh, this color is fantastic. So I will show you guys. It's, oh, if you use it wet, it's an amazing foil color right here. And I will be applying that everywhere that I just applied that, like, brick brown color. And I'm going to bring that color all the way over in the crease and the outer edge. Now you guys can see that it's starting to come together a little bit. Get a blending brush and just kind of softly blend a little bit. So that way, like, the red goes right into that beautiful, like, orange brown brick color, and it's just gorgeous. This is such a pretty look. So what I'm going to go ahead and do next is I'm going to take one of these eyeshadows wet. The eye color that I'm using here, it's a beautiful gold. I mean, this is, if you guys can see this, it is, I think this is my favorite Morphe palette. Like, it really is. Now it's this color right here. So I'm going to use this, like, beautiful shimmery gold color with the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. The Mist and Set that I'm using is the Illuminating Mist and Set. Okay, so I have a little bit of it right here. And I'm going to pat that just on the center where it was bare. And then I'm going to go back in with that red, like the red foil color that we just used. I'm going to help kind of blend a little bit of that, so that way it's kind of soft. Like so. It has a very nice, like, pull of dimension, and I love it. I'm going to grab a little bit of black. I'm going to be very, very careful though, because it is easy to overdo it when you're adding a black pigment to this look. So I'm going to take the black shade from this palette, which is right here. I'm going to grab a little bit of that matte black on a pencil brush, and then I'm going to go in just on the crease. Now I'm gonna take an Urban Decay eyeshadow, just because my only complaint with this palette is there's not a like a skin tone nude matte beige in this. So I kind of want that to keep everything a little bit, you know, separated from light and dark. And I'm using the shade Walk of Shame from Urban Decay. Oh, this is so pretty though. I love it. Watch out, fall. Here I come. Okay, now I'm going to take a big fat fluffy brush and I'm going to just blend like the outer edge of this look into that Urban Decay Walk of Shame. I'm going to soften everything and bring a little bit of that like warm orange upwards. So that way it's like a really, really nice transition. What I'm going to go ahead and do next is apply an eyeliner. I'm going to go underneath my lower lash line here with a black liner. This is from Revlon and it's the Luxurious color in Black Velvet. So I'm going to use the little sponge side of it as well to kind of smudge it out. So taking that liner, lost a lash. Sometimes it happens. I'm going to go ahead and apply this right underneath my lower lash line. You don't want to apply too much. So I'm going to take the little sponge side here and I'm going to blend it out a bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a very, very small brush, and this is like a little pencil brush. I'm going to grab that same like shimmery burgundy shade that we used. That's going to go right on top of it. So I'm going to grab just a pinch of the black shade from this palette. Very, very small amount. And I'm going to go ahead and just put it right at the very tip top of that red. So that way it's going to blend into the black liner that I will be applying on my waterline. And it's going to look really seamless. Back to the black liner. I'm going to go ahead and take that same one and I'm going to line my waterline. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to do my upper lash line with liner. What I'm going to use is the Colourpop gel eyeliner in Swerve. I'm going to do this off camera, but I will be using a Zoeva wing liner brush for this. These are like my savior. I don't know how I did liner before this. Like, these are just fabulous. So anywho, I'm going to go ahead and do that and then I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is my concealer, and I am using the Wet n Wild Illumi-Naughty. It's such a funny name. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of this everywhere where I want to get some brightening. I normally do not put any foundation right here underneath my eye. And it's just because I'm going to apply concealer and I don't want it to look cakey. So I just kind of bring it out to my hairline, of course. And then I'm going to take my little baby beauty blender, or micro beauty blender here. And I realize it looks incredibly pale compared to my skin tone. I will be warming it up with some blush and I'm going to be setting it as well. So I'm just kind of patting it. So I went ahead and applied that concealer and I'm going to set it. So I'm going to use that same beauty blender and the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a mascara. Now, the one I'm using is actually a duo from Wet n Wild, and it's the Fiber Lash, whatever, Lash Fibers. I don't even know what this is called, okay? Anywho, I'm using the Prime and Seal, which is step 1 and 3 here. Step 1 is to coat your lashes, so that's what I'm going to do. I only do my top lashes with the fibers, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have a ton of mascara, because the whole idea of this is to look like bam, like crazy bold. Then I'm going to take the fiber lashes, and I'm just going to put some on. I'm going to let that dry, and then I will be coating it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to coat my lashes one more time, and then I'm going to do my lower lashes as well. So I'm going to use the e.l.f. Cream Contour Palette here. I'm kind of a sucker for this shade right here. I've been using it like almost religiously. And I'm going to use the Face Curve brush here from Zoeva. I'm going to grab some of that bad boy and I'm going to pat it along my hairline. I don't normally contour my forehead because I have bangs. And you guys will see my bangs will come down here in a little bit, so meh. Anywho, I'm going to carve out my cheek. And then I'm going to do my jaw, just this part of my jaw. And of course I'm going to try and get rid of that double chin here, so yep. Okay, now I'm going to use a big beauty blender, and you guys get it. I'm going to go to town and just kind of blend this a bit. Now I'm going to use a bronzer as well, just to kind of help transition everything, because I kind of have a big forehead, and I see everyone always contouring their forehead, and I'm like, I went in on this business a little bit, so I went ahead and contoured. What I'm going to go ahead and do next is highlight, of course, and some blush. Let me go ahead and use a blush first. What I'm using here is the e.l.f. Contouring Blush and Bronzer, and this is like my second favorite shade. I have two favorite shades of this product. One is Fiji, because they're both matte, and that's fabulous. This one is in Turks and Caicos. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But look at that. That is such a nice, beautiful color. This is good for any skin tone. Holy, holy, holy. It is amazing. So I'm going to use a blush brush here and just kind of pat some of that on and warm up my cheeks a bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a bronzer real fast, and then I will be highlighting, because I totally skipped the whole bronzing thing and I kind of need to do it. So I am using the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in Medium Deep, and I'm going to use that same brush that I used with blush. Let's see here. And I'm going to kind of just put this everywhere, like on my forehead, along the edge of my face, my jawline, my chin, of course. Get rid of that double chin because it's not very attractive. Blend it away, ladies. Blend it away. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and highlight, and for that I have decided to use one of the Becca highlighting products. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed and Moonstone. Somehow I keep losing these and then I get another one, but Moonstone is like my favorite, so I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of this guy, because it's just freaking gorgeous and it looks so good with that bronzer and that blush, and it just ties everything in together. Right? Take a deep breath. You know, when you put on a really nice highlighter, you know it's going to be a good day. So, all right. Put a little bit on my chin. Cupid's bow. A little bit on my nose. Don't need to do my forehead. I didn't even need to contour it, but I did it. Whatever. So that's basically what I do. Now I'm going to take a little bit of that bronzer, and I'm going to take a slanted, this is actually like an eyebrow brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of that product. I'm going to tap it off so that way there's not much. And I'm just going to kind of make a little line on my nose here. And then I'm going to kind of blend it out. Now I'm going to use just a face brush to kind of do that because I want to keep it soft. Okay, so I decided for the lipstick that I was actually going to use a Colourpop liquid lipstick. This is one of the mattes, and it's in Lax. So we're going to see how this ends up turning out. Okay guys, so that is the finished look. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial because it was kind of fun making it, of course. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I love you. Thank you guys. Take care.